The innate immune responses are the body's initial defense against infection, but these work only to control pathogens that have a certain molecular pattern or that induce interferons and other non-specific defenses. To efficiently fight the wide range of pathogens an individual will encounter, the lymphocytes of the adaptive immune system have evolved to recognize a great variety of different antigens from bacteria, viruses, and other disease-causing organisms. So to understand the phenomena, we first need to understand what an antigen is. An antigen is any molecule or a part of a molecule that is specifically recognized by the highly specialized recognition proteins of the lymphocytes, and these differ between B cells and the T cells. On the B cells, these proteins are immunoglobulins. The membrane-bound form of immunoglobulin on the B cell surface serves as the cell's receptor for antigen, and it is known as a B cell receptor. The secreted form of the immunoglobulin, it is known as the antibody, and these antibodies are the ones that perform the effector functions within our body. The antigen recognition molecules of the T cell are solely made as membrane-bound proteins, which are associated with intercellular signaling complex and function to signal T cells for activation. The T cell receptors are related to the immunoglobulins both in their protein structure and the genetic mechanism that produces their great variability. But, however, the T cell receptors do not recognize and bind the antigens by themselves like the antibodies do, but instead they recognize short peptide fragments of the protein antigen that are presented to them by the proteins known as MHC molecules present upon the host cell surface. The MHC molecules are highly polymorphic. That is one of the very important phenomena of our adaptive immune system, and we're going to be discussing about this later. But in this section, we are going to be discussing about one of the key molecules that perform the effector functions, that are the antibodies. So the antibodies, they perform very important functions in our body. So the first, it is that they bind specifically to the pathogen or its products that have elicited the immune response. For example, binding the antibodies can neutralize viruses and bacteria. Other functions of the antibodies include destroying the pathogens or marking them for destruction by other organisms such as phagocytes or the complement system. The recognition and effector functions are structurally separated in the antibody molecule, one part of which specifically binds to the antigen, whereas the other engages effector mechanisms. Therefore, it is necessary to understand the structure of the antibody molecule. There are 5 different classes of immunoglobulins, distinguished in them being constructed from different regions, different structural components, and these are known as IgM, IgD, IgG, IgA, and IgE. So in this section, we're going to be using the IgG antibody molecule as an example, because most of the structural components of the IgG molecule are shared between all of these different classes of immunoglobulin. So talking about IgG specifically, this is the general structure of an antibody. It basically consists of 4 polypeptide chains. One is about 50 kilodalton heavy chain, or which is known also as an H chain, and the other is a 25 kilodalton or a light chain, and this together adds up to about 150 kilodalton structure. Each IgG molecule consists of 2 heavy chains and 2 light chains. The 2 heavy chains are linked to each other by disulfide bonds, and each heavy chain it is linked to a light chain by a disulfide bond. In any given immunoglobulin, the 2 heavy chains and the 2 light chains are identical, giving an antibody molecule 2 identical antigen binding sites. This gives the antibody the ability to bind simultaneously to 2 identical antigens on a surface, thereby increasing the total strength of interaction, which is known as avidity. The strength of interaction between a single antigen binding site and an antigen is known as its affinity. So talking about the types of chains, the light chain, there are 2 types, the lambda and the kappa. These are usually found within the antibody, and any immunoglobulin either has a kappa chain or a lambda chain, neither one of each. No functional difference has been found between these 2 antibody kinds of light chains, but the light chains aside, the effective functions are performed by the heavy chain. There are 5 main heavy chain classes or isotypes, some of which have several subtypes, and these determine the functional activity of an antibody molecule. The 5 major classes of immunoglobulin, as we saw later, were IgM, T, G, A, and E, and these heavy chains are denoted by the lowercase Greek letters as illustrated over here. The general structural features of all isotypes are similar, particularly with respect to the antigen binding. So this was an overall structure general analysis of the heavy and light chain, but the antibody molecules can be divided into other functional components such as the variable and the constant region. The amino terminal domains or Ig domains of the heavy and light chain together make up the V region as seen over there and determine the antigen binding specificity, whereas the other region, that is basically known as the constant region, it determines a body's effector functions, and this is a region that determines the isotype. So looking a little bit more into detail about the C and V domains, this is basically how the antibodies or the proteins are folded. Each domain, it is a barrel-shaped structure in which the strands of polypeptide chains running in opposite directions pack together to form beta sheets, as illustrated in this. The way in which the polypeptide chain folds to give the functional structure can be seen more clearly when the sheets are opened, as over here. So we see over here that the beta strands are lettered sequentially with respect to one another in their occurrence in the amino acid sequence of the domain. In order for each beta sheet, it is characterized of immunoglobulin domain. The beta strands of the C prime and the C double prime are found in the V domains and are not within the C domains, are indicated by the blue background over there. The characteristic 4 strand plus 3 strand or C region type domain or 4 strand plus 5 strand, that is a V region domain arrangements, are typical immunoglobulin superfamily domain building blocks found in whole range of other proteins as well as antibodies and the T cell receptor. So this is one of the points that needs to be considered and remembered. So how basically do we know that antibodies are shaped like this? Obviously it was proved with the help of various experiments, and these experiments involved cutting or cleavage of these antibodies by proteolytic enzymes. So the first experiment in which this was done, the antibody molecules were cleaved with pepin. So pepin basically cleaves the immunoglobulin molecule into 3 pieces, 2 Fab fragments as we see over there and an Fc fragment. The Fab stands for fragment antigen binding because it binds to the antigen, and the other Fc fragment, it is a fragment crystallizable, and this basically forms the C region. So this is one of the way in which the antibody molecule can be cleaved by proteolytic enzymes. The other, it is that the antibody molecule can also be cleaved into fragments such as the FAB'2 and the PFC, and this also gives about the structural diversity or of the antibody molecules. So now that we know that antibody molecules are having different regions and structures, let us see about how antibody molecules perform a diverse range of functions, and one of this lies within the characteristic of the antibody being extremely flexible. The flexibility can be related to studies of the antibody molecules by binding to small molecules such as heptans as seen in this. These are molecules of various types that are typically bound about the size of the tyrosine side chain. Although heptans are specifically recognized by the antibody molecule, they can stimulate the production of anti-heptan antibodies only when they are linked to a protein. So two identical heptan molecules joined by a short flexible region can link 2 or more anti-heptan antibodies, forming dimers, trimers, tetramers, and they can be seen with the help of electron microscope. So a simplified version, it is displayed in front of you. The shapes of these complex show the antibody molecules are flexible at the hinge region. Some flexibility is also found at the junction between the V and the C domains, allowing bending and rotation of the V domains relative to the C domains. Flexibility at both the hinge and the VC junction enables the 2 arms of the antibody molecules to bind to sites of some distance apart, such as repeated sites on the bacterial cell wall polysaccharides. Flexibility at the hinge region also enables the antibody molecules to interact with the antibody binding proteins and mediates immune mechanism. So the flexibility of these antibody molecules allows it to perform. So just to have a recap of what we just discussed, we saw different categories of antibodies, and in that we took IgG antibody as an example and saw that the IgG antibody, it consists of 4 polypeptide chains, that is 2 light chains and 2 heavy chains. Another category into which the antibody molecule can be described is based upon its V region and the C region. The V region, it is responsible for the antigen binding, and the C region, it performs the effector function. The C region also determines the antibody's isotype. And we then saw that how the antibody molecule can be cleaved into functionally distinct form, and which gives us an insight about its structure. And the flexibility of the antibody molecule allows it to perform multiple functions simultaneously. So this was a brief recap of the function of the antibody molecule, that is basically the mediator of the effective immunity. In the next sections, we are going to deal with how the antibody molecules actually perform their functions within the adaptive immune system. So I hope you enjoyed the video. For more content like this, stay tuned and stay curious. Bye!